Cold start?
Hey, what's going on?
It might be a cold start. I think it is a cold start.
It looks like it's going to be a cold day in paradise.
All right, so you want to explain what's going on right now?
What? Well, we got a show to do.
We do, but we're doing it through our phone.
Yes. The equipment's not present, so we're doing this from our phones.
Yeah, so if it sounds a little muffled, don't worry. Next week's shooting gallery will be back up and running. This one will probably only be about an hour long.
Yeah, about an hour long, just in time for you to go out to your favorite hangout, be with some friends. We're going to talk a little bit about some stuff.
Yeah. So, big weekend coming up, huh?
Big weekend.
Before we continue, is there any way, Sean, since we're doing it through your phone, that we can actually leave the screen on like permanently without it like backing
I don't want to mess with it.
Okay, fair enough. All right. I guess this is what we get when we're
when we're hamming it.
Yeah, ham and egg in it. First off, we got to give a shout out. You want to give a shout out, Sean?
Go right ahead.
All right, we want to shout out Tommy C and the Hall Monitor. Hall Monitor was was sick this week. She actually went up in the hospital, from what I understand. Tommy actually just took her out of the hospital maybe about half an hour before the show was intended to go on. They can't be here tonight, but we definitely want to send our best wishes to both of them. Speedy recovery and all that. And hopefully they will be here for the shooting gallery next week, which is Sean's baby, I guess you can say. Well, we got some things we got to cover, though.
Yes, and let's.
All right, Stronghold. That was this past weekend.
Stronghold Pro Wrestling.
So Stronghold Pro Wrestling did their first show. It was, I would say, hey, it was a packed house. It did well.
Did very well.
You can't walk away like that, Sean. I doubt the phone's microphone only goes goes that far. So no breaks this week either.
No breaks.
We can't do
doing
the
this on the phone. No breaks. Whatever are we going to do with ourselves?
I don't know.
No Skype, no fan line.
Yeah, no fan line. Can't call it this week. We don't even know if this is on live. We're assuming it's on live, but this might be actually a canned show, per se. But yeah, so Stronghold had its first ever show at the NYWC Sportatorium this past week. Came out. It was a good show. It was definitely a good show.
Definitely, there were a lot of great matches. There were a lot of good matches.
Definitely a packed house. It looked like there was like 250 in the NYWC Sportatorium. It was a good show. Definitely a solid first showing. We should have did this from my phone. Your phone is like going ape shit right now.
It is, but it's all right. Hopefully we're doing well.
But yeah, Stronghold definitely came out well. We have some shows that are coming up tomorrow night. 2 separate shows in the Deer Park area that are taking place tomorrow night. NYWC presents Sideshow. And VPW is presenting the King of New York tournament for 2014. NYWC, of course, is going to be at the NYWC Sportatorium in Deer Park, and at VPW is going to be performing out of the Deer Park Community Center. It's going to be interesting. We were hoping to review both shows, so me and Sean, we have to stop holding hands, and Sean's going to go to NYWC, I'm going to go to VPW. This way we both have a... what was that? What are you talking about?
I don't.
What?
I don't see us live right now.
What do you mean?
I don't see us live.
Oh well, maybe it's because it's canned and we have to share it afterwards.
That'll be cool.
So we'll find out. It's a canned show. What does it matter?
It doesn't.
It's probably because we have to share it afterwards. We don't know what we're doing. Yeah.
It is a fixed... it's a show, and on with it, I guess.
Yeah.
The show must go on.
Well, this is what we're talking about. We have a, it's a canned segment. We had no intro, no music breaks. It's only probably going to be an hour long. The show's got to go on. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
But Sean's definitely going to be at the NYWC Sportatorium tomorrow. I'm going to be at the VPW show tomorrow. I have from what we understand, is going to be the cards for the both shows. So I don't know if Sean wants to run down what's already advertised for NYWC.
Mikey Whipwreck versus Mike Mondo.
That's going to be a good match.
Yes, it will.
That's going to be an excellent match.
Chrissy Rivera versus Marty Bell. Is that for the title?
I don't know if it's for the title, but yeah, they didn't list it, but I'm assuming it will be, unless it's a non-title match.
Francis Kipling Stevens versus Jesse Vane.
That should be a good match.
Stockade versus Matt Justice.
Okay, that's probably the match to look out for.
Yup.
Because, man, do those guys have contrasting styles in that sense.
Yes. And, let's see.
Uh-oh. One of my favorite tag teams is no longer a tag team.
Alex Reynolds versus Johnny Silver.
This is the Battle of the Beaver Boys. This is actually a rematch.
Is it?
Yes, Alex Reynolds, last NYWC show, if memory serves me correct, Alex Reynolds captured the victory over Johnny Silva. So let's see if Johnny Silva can make this thing even again. Sean's still checking to see if we're live. I don't think we are, Sean.
Nope, I don't think so either.
I think there's this button underneath the recording that says share. I think we have to share it once we're done.
Oh.
So, and I'm sick as a dog. So I want to get through this and go from there. Stop playing with your phone. We've only been on for like 6 minutes.
I know.
See, look, there's a share button. You know.
Should we click it?
I don't know if we should click
I don't know.
I think we should stop when we're done and then share.
Maybe.
Because that's probably how it works.
Maybe.
But yeah, so NYWC definitely looks like it's going to be a badass show.
Yep, a hot little number.
And then VPW, like I was saying, they have their King of New York tournament. This is the 4th tournament. They started it in 2011. EJ Risk won the first 2, and last year Jay Delta became King of New York. This year they always 8 guys. They've only announced 6 of the participants in the tournament. I guess the other 2 are a little surprise entrants. But the 6 that they did name, Mr. OA, Jorge Santi, Kevin Tibbs, EJ Risk is going to look to win his 3rd King of New York tournament. Ricky Reyes, and perhaps the favorite to win this year, the Amazing Red, is going to be in it. But then again, we don't know who the other 2 participants are going to be in the tournament. And then their VPW Heavyweight Championship is going to be on the line, which is VSK. Their reigning defending champion is going to go against Dorian Graves. And the winner of the King of New York tournament, this year they had a stipulation. They get a guaranteed title shot against whoever, I guess, wins the VSK Dorian Graves match at VPW's 8-year anniversary show. So that should be something to look out for. Also advertised for the show is the tag team champions, one of my favorite, if not my favorite tag team.
The House Party.
The House Party. Also in attendance will be K Fresh, Kevin Fulton, and then K Katana, who is their New York or Empire champion. I think it's the New York champion. I think that's what they call it. It could be Empire champion. I failed to do my research. My bad.
It's okay, you're sick.
Yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, so definitely be on the lookout. Both of those shows are tomorrow night. So be on the lookout. Like I said, Sean and me are going to have to stop holding hands.
I know.
We're going to have to break up a little bit.
That's so horrible.
Sean's going to go check out NYWC. I'm going to go check out VPW. And then we'll come back, I guess, the week after the shooting gallery. And we'll give our thoughts on the shows and everything like that. Maybe get a couple of the guys to call in.
Or come by.
Or, yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah. But, yeah. You want to talk about Stronghold some more?
Sure.
What was your favorite match on Stronghold?
My favorite match had to be the Len Oddity Frankie Flo match.
Of course.
You knew I was going to say that.
You're a mark. I kind of like the main event.
The main event was good.
The main event was good. The Pope D'Angelo De Niro. And I'll tell you this. Backstage, just talking to him and everything like that, really cool guy. Stuck around the entire time. After his match was done in the main event, he stood in the building until every fan left that wanted an autograph.
Yup.
So that was really cool.
Class act.
Yes. Me and him were poking fun at each other backstage.
You were.
You know?
You were poking fun of each other after the show, too.
Yes. You know, he had a good spirit about him, but definitely was also, it was an entertaining match. Big Jim Sullivan gave it his all, but he came up just a little short.
Little bit.
But
he looked really good.
He did.
For not being, for not being in a show in a while.
And I'm not gonna, make fun of you. The Len Oddity Frankie Flo match was a good match as well. I just knew that I shouldn't have asked you that question because you're going to mark out for Len Oddity every time, which is fine. You have your favorites. I have mine. But yeah, it was definitely interesting. The Battle Royal and the pre-show was interesting. Nikki Adams, with Lexa Rose, that was an interesting
That was an interesting match.
Altogether, it was a well put show. It was a well put together show. Unfortunately, Jack Gallo couldn't wrestle.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Jack Gallo.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Let's talk about good old Jackie boy.
No, let's not talk about Jackie.
Why not?
I just wanted to give him a shout out, get better. No, I'm serious.
You don't want to talk about Jack Gallo.
No.
You don't want to talk about the events of Stronghold.
No. Well, no, we can talk about Stronghold. It doesn't have to be about Jack Gallo, though. Why?
Well, I'm talking about the specific events.
Oh, well, Jack Gallo couldn't wrestle. With the whole complications with the having to get emergency surgery in December. But luckily, somebody was there to wrestle Robbie Rebel in his place. ATL came to save the day.
Luckily, somebody.
And then it was just a little bit interesting what happened afterwards between ATL and Jack.
Yeah, ATL. Yeah, let's talk about ATL for a second.
He looked good in that purple outfit. I'll give him that. Purple Ranger.
He did.
That was definitely a different look.
Had a good match.
Yeah, it was a good match, him and Rebel, yeah.
Yeah.
Back and forth a little bit. Actually, I thought Rebel was going to win, actually. To be honest.
A couple of times I thought Rebel had it.
As back and forth as I, now looking back on it, that I thought. But yeah, I mean, there seems to be trouble in paradise.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see it coming. Did you see it coming?
You didn't see it coming?
No, I didn't see it coming at all.
You didn't see it coming?
No, absolutely not. From my understanding, ATL and Jack Gallo were on good terms.
They were apparently they're best friends.
Yeah, well, according to ATL, yeah. But yeah, ATL, maybe he's got a little bit of explaining to do.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see if he says anything. He changed his Facebook, though. You see all that? That was freaky.
I did.
His cover photo is completely creepy, and his profile pic is just creepy. I don't even know what's going on.
Maybe we should invite him to be on the show.
Maybe. I got a feeling he won't come, though.
Why?
I just got a feeling. He doesn't seem like he's the type who wants to vent out any of his frustrations on a radio show. Yeah. I could be wrong, though. What do I know?
We'll reach out to him and see if we can have him on the coming weeks.
We'll see. I think I got his number. I could give him a buzz. If you didn't pick up. I don't know.
Or a phone booth.
Or that. But yeah, all again, it was a solid show. Definitely a solid show. But last week, or the week, whatever it was, the last show we did, we were talking about Ultimate Warrior in the Hall of Fame.
Was that last week?
Yes, it was last.
Yes, it was.
It's weird because today's Friday, and I'm used to it being Wednesdays and all that. We had a little bit of discussion.
We did. Well, you had a bit of a monologue, and I had kind of a...
No, you brought this up.
I did bring it up. I brought it up the week prior on Facebook when it was announced. I brought it
a couple of days.
The Monday on Facebook when it was announced.
Yes, and you didn't like the fact that Ultimate Warrior was going in the
WWE
Hall of Fame. You're wrong. Everybody's entitled to opinions.
I'm
wrong about opinions.
I'm wrong from a commercial standpoint.
You're wrong, period.
No, I'm wrong.
Yes.
I'm wrong from a commercial...
It's the WWE Hall of Fame. It's not the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame.
I'm wrong from a commercial standpoint.
The guy was a mega star. Dude, how does he not go in the Hall of Fame?
He was a mega star, and then it just seemed like he wasn't in it for the fans.
What does that matter?
What do you mean, what does that matter?
If Peyton Manning turns around and says, I don't do any of this for the fans. I do this because I like playing football. Does that make him any less of a future Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Why?
Because why would you say that? Why?
Because you're being honest? You rather somebody... you're choosing to pay. That's the difference.
No, listen. You're put on a patch of grass. In this case, Peyton Manning. You're put on a patch of grass. You make millions of dollars playing on that patch of grass.
Okay, their salary has nothing to do with it, but okay.
It does.
No, it does.
Why not?
It's a fair market, competition. Yeah. Their salaries have nothing to do with it.
Okay, and then let's turn Peyton Manning into the Ultimate Warrior for a second. Okay. Let's say Peyton Manning decides to go, you know what? Screw the fans. Screw you, owner of the Broncos, whose name escapes me right now. But I'm not going out to play in the NFC Championship game unless you give me $1 million more right now.
Does he have a contract?
Sure.
Is it in his contract that he can do that?
Says who?
Is it in his... I'm asking.
I don't know.
Does his contract state that he can do it? Well, this is a hypothetical situation,
You're
right?
not privy to that, so let's say no.
Okay, it's not in his contract? Then he'll get sued. End of story. He'll get sued. He'll probably get kicked out of the union that they have, because football players have a union, and that'll be the end of Peyton Manning.
Okay, now you see my point.
Okay, so was it in the Warriors' contract? Did he even have a running contract at the time?
He must have.
You know, was that his way of renegotiating? They don't have a union. There's a little bit of a difference there. Doesn't have a union. Wrestling doesn't have a union.
When you say that to people, you make it not about the fans and more about yourself.
What does the fans matter in this particular case? You're talking about the credentials of one individual and whether they were the elite of their profession. That's what a Hall of Fame is.
Do you think that Ultimate Warrior is the elite of the elite?
He was a megastar, so he probably made a lot more money than 99% of wrestlers out there. So yeah, I would say he definitely was an elite.
And who do you think made him that megastar? This is not, again, it's not Peyton Manning where you can go out and throw 17 touchdowns in a game and be declared the ultimate player.
Yes. A little bit of Vince McMahon, a little bit of Ultimate Warrior.
The marketing engine of the WWE.
But you know what? At the same time, the marketing engine is not in the gym with the Warrior every time he's in the gym to keep his physique up. He's not on the marketing machine's not on the road with the Warrior when he's away from his family. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm getting at there? There's enough sacrifices on his part, too.
Yeah, but
you're just mad. You're mad.
You kind of piss that away when you play that card.
But you're mad because he wasn't a good worker. And that's why you don't want him in the Hall of Fame.
Well, that makes me a fan.
Yeah, but Hulk Hogan wasn't a good worker either. You know what I'm saying? But define, what's a good worker anyway? Because were the fans just as drawn to the match when Warrior was up? Because I think they were. So he did something. He was working on crowds in some aspect, right? Maybe he can't work like William Regal can work, but William Regal can't work like the Warrior could work if you think about it. That's your gripe. That's the underlying gripe that you have.
It is.
The Warrior wasn't a good wrestler.
Right.
So who cares? Who cares?
Commercially, nobody should.
Yeah.
But the Hall of Fame should mean more than that.
Why? You haven't given me an argument as to why.
Well, I just did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No. So you should neglect the guy who made your company money, which then in turn put the spotlight on other guys performing on the cards who now people know who the Bret Harts of the world are, and they know who the Marty Jannettis and Shawn Michaels of the world are, and they know who this guy is, and they know who Mr. Perfect is, right? All because people tuned in to see the Hulk Hogans, the Randy Savages, the Roddy Pipers, and the Ultimate Warrior. So they're they have no business, opening up the audience the way they did, putting the spotlight on other guys.
You're talking commercially.
But then why Bret Hart didn't put the attention on anybody else? Name one guy that you could say, oh, Bret Hart's the reason he, in the same scenario that I just pitched to you. Wrestling was on a downturn when Bret Hart was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the whole Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels angle kind of...
If people weren't tuning into Monday Night Raw to see Stone Cold and DX and The Rock, you think anybody would know who Val Venus was?
No.
Okay, or D'Lo Brown?
But if there wasn't the DXs of the world, then the marketing machine would have gotten on one of them.
You think they tried, they failed. Plenty of times they have failed.
Well, they tried and failed because they had these other money.
So maybe it's because the person that they get behind is the extra ingredient that needs to take off.
I don't think
you can market a piece of shit spray painted gold, right? All you want. At the end of the day, it's still a piece of shit spray painted gold.
Right. Exactly.
So maybe that piece of shit needs to have a little bit of extra to it. Something about that piece of shit spray painted gold that makes people like, oh, well, this is great. And because it's something from the piece of shit that's spray painted gold.
Commercially, he's allowed in the Hall of Fame.
But you can't separate the two.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't, because guess what, Sean? He's going in.
Well,
deal with it.
I guess that doesn't matter.
Yeah, deal with it. He's going in. And to not for nothing, the WWE Hall of Fame, people shit all over it. I did some research.
Oh, yes, I saw this post on Facebook.
I did some research. I came up with 100 names on whether they should eventually be inducted into the Hall of Fame or not. But while looking at the current, I think there's 126 Hall of Famers in the WWE right now.
Close to that.
113, something like that. There's only 6 questionable ones in my mind, and 5 of them are in your dreaded celebrity wing, which only includes 5 people. And I put those 5 on the questionable list, which in my mind, they really shouldn't be questionable because it's a celebrity wing. It's got a different set of standards.
Right.
So really, that leaves only one questionable WWE Hall of Famer. Like, should he be in the Hall of Fame? Which is Coco Beware. Go up and down the rest of the list, and there shouldn't... I mean, you can always make an argument, but there shouldn't be an argument for the other names that are in the list.
Well, let's go back to Coco Beware. Did Coco Beware put asses in the seats?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think people came out to see Coco Beware during the time he was wrestling?
Maybe 0.2% of an audience member did.
And what's your statistical data to back this up?
There is none. But Coco Beware was nothing ever more than a mid-carder.
Right.
He wasn't even the top of the level of mid-carders.
Right. But people came to see him still.
People came to see the other guys that were on the cards, and he happened to be wrestling on the cards.
You don't think that Coco Beware has like a legion of fans?
I'm sure everybody has a legion of fans, but when you're in comparison to the other guys that are in the Hall of Fame...
All right, so let's run down the rest of your names. We'll come back to Coco.
All right, well, the other names are the celebrity wing. Pete Rose.
Well, he had to be in one Hall of Fame.
Yeah, well, that... But you know what, though? He was at WrestleMania 14, 15, 16... Right? Drew Carey, who was a Royal Rumble competitor 1 year in 2001.
That's laughable.
Bob Uecker, who was involved with WrestleMania 3 and 4, whether interviewing or ring announcing.
Yes.
Okay. Donald Trump, who hosted WrestleMania 4 and 5 and then was involved in WrestleMania 23's Battle of the Billionaires. Mm-hmm. And then Mike Tyson. Special guest referee at WrestleMania 14, Raw host, multiple appearances in DVDs and other media. I mean, but this is a Celebrity Hall of Fame, so obviously, their standards are different. And then you have Coco Beware.
Coco,
the Birdman. And I'm not knocking him as a worker, but I can understand Johnny Rodz being in the Hall of Fame. He was a long-time jobber, right? He was enhancement talent. They deserve some credit. But Johnny Rodz also was the head trainer of a lot of guys who went on to further success in WWE. I can't think of anybody who was trained by Coco Beware.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't even know if he is a trainer. But okay, so we were hoping that Tommy would be here to be the tiebreaker. Do we have a pen somewhere, Sean?
I'm sure we do.
Because we have 100 names we have to run down. That's a lot of names, Sean. A lot of names. And Tommy would have been the tiebreaker.
Find one and here you go.
Tommy should have been the tiebreaker. But maybe me and you will have some arguments now. That's just me and you.
It ought to be fun.
Potential candidates when the time comes, should they be in the Hall of Fame? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
CM Punk.
CM Punk. Should he be in the Hall of Fame? Yeah.
I would say so.
I would say so.
Okay, so CM Punk goes in the Hall of Fame. This pen, of course. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Kane.
No.
No?
No.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Why shouldn't Kane go in the Hall of Fame?
What has Kane done lately?
Okay, it's not about what he's done lately. This is a Hall of Fame. What did he do over his career is what we're talking about.
All right, I'm only messing with you. So, yeah, he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Are you really messing with me?
I really am. I really am. I just...
Because I think he should be in the Hall of Fame as well. Rey Mysterio. Now, keep in mind, the standard is also Coco Beware here. If he could be in the Hall of Fame, you have to make the argument, if you say no, that Coco deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, and this guy doesn't.
Rey Mysterio should.
Yes, I think he should as well. Big Boss Man.
No.
What? Now you're tripping.
Why am I tripping?
Big Boss Man is definitely a Hall of Fame.
How many titles has Big Boss Man won?
0.
What has he done to advance the business?
Advance it?
Yeah.
What has Coco Beware done?
Carried a bird.
Carried a bird. Ooh. Ooh. I bet you Big Boss Man was in more big time moments than Coco Beware was. Yes, he was. Name one awesome Coco Beware moment off the top of your head?
Shit, I can't.
You can't. Exactly. I can think
I'm
one.
sure if I went back, I could find one.
Big Boss Man and Akeem as a tag team in the 80s. That was awesome with Slick, right? The hanging when the Brood and Undertaker hung him from the cell that one year. That was amazing. Big Boss. I mean, come on, bro. Come on.
I don't think so.
All right. Well, you're a dick. So this we don't know.
So just put thumbs up, me, thumbs down, you.
This is what.
Or the other way around.
Dr. Death, Steve Williams. I'm throwing names at you here. You're like, what the hell? How are these names coming up?
I'm going to say yes.
I'm going to say yes as well. Okay.
He was a pioneer. He helped advance the business.
Yeah, but you're saying advance. You don't have to advance the business.
And you're thinking commercially.
No, but you don't have to advance it.
Why?
Because then that's like saying Bret Hart shouldn't be a Hall of Famer. He didn't advance the business. What did he do that advanced the business?
How do you know he didn't advance the business?
But how do you know? Exactly. So you can't use that as credential if nobody even knows.
All right. I'll see your point, and we'll move on. We got a lot of names.
I just mentioned him. Slick. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm going to say no as well. Luna Vachon.
Yeah, why not?
I'm going to say yes to Luna. Okay. Rick Martel.
Oh, somebody put this up.
Yes, and I'm going to say yes for Rick Martel.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
Okay.
I'll stipulate.
Stan the Man Henson.
No.
What?
No.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding?
I'm not kidding.
I'm going to say yes to Stan Henson. Are you kidding, bro? Are you kidding me? Wow. I'm disappointed in you. Ultimo Dragon.
That's a tough one.
I'm going to say no to Ultimo Dragon.
That's a tough one.
I don't think he did quite enough. But then again, I'm also coming from the point that Coco Beware should not be in the Hall of Fame.
I'm going to say yes.
Well, because of course you would. The New Age Outlaws.
Oh. In the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Yes.
I say yes as well. X-Pac.
No.
I'm going to say yes as well.
Why?
Because Coco Beware is your standard. Okay? That's your standard. X-Pac. Tag team champion multiple times. Right? Probably one of the greatest upsets in wrestling history when he beat Razor Ramon that broadcast of Monday Night Raw. Mm-hmm. European champion. Light heavyweight champion. One of the, I guess you could say founding members, but one of the members of one of the most influential stables in professional wrestling.
And he came later.
You know, but he came when most people say that was when it was better with DX. Most people remember the Triple H, New Age Outlaws, China, X-Pac DX than they do the Shawn Michaels, Triple H, China, Ravishing Rude for a brief moment DX. You say no, I say yes.
I still don't think he's done quite enough.
All right, well, you're a douche. What about DX as a whole?
DX as a whole.
Yes. They did it recently. They put the Von Erichs all in as a family. They put
I'm going to say yes.
Okay, so X-Pac's a Hall of Famer then. He gets a ring. That's how Ric Flair's got two.
Right.
So you just, yeah, okay.
No.
X-Pac's a Hall of Famer.
Does X-Pac himself belong in the Hall of Fame? No. Does he belong in the Hall of Fame with DX? Yes.
Why? What kind of exception is that? Come on now.
What do you mean what kind of exception?
He's still a Hall of Famer then. He gets a ring, right? He's a Hall of Famer, then he's in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, fine.
So he goes from a no to a yes.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does. Fabulous Freebirds.
Absolutely.
Yes, I agree. Jamie Noble. Here's the argument I give on Jamie Noble's behalf. While maybe he didn't do enough in front of the camera, this guy was an agent. This guy was a trainer. This guy did a lot for WWE in the late or the early 2000s to late 2000s. A lot. And there's another name on this list that we'll bring up as well once I find him. That's pretty much in the same position.
Maybe.
You think the jury's still out on him?
Yeah.
Okay, so for now we say no. Okay, that's fine. That happens. Where I'm trying to find the other guy that's exactly... There he is. Billy Kidman.
Yes.
You say yes to Billy Kidman, though.
Yes.
But not Jamie Noble.
No.
Why?
Because from a commercial standpoint, Kidman's done more.
Okay.
And if we're talking about the whole big commercial machine...
Okay.
Then
but they're essentially almost the same guy. So that little bit extra that Kidman did, the one match he had with Hulk Hogan and the couple of more WCW Cruiserweight Championships that he held, is enough
exactly
to put him over?
Sure.
I say no.
And why do you say no?
I say no.
Why do you say no?
Because if we're not putting Jamie Noble in, we're not putting Billy... Maybe it's because I understand the credentials of the Hall of Fame better than you. Maybe that's
I don't
the
think
argument.
so.
Oh, that's where the argument is. All right, this is a no-brainer. Sting.
In a WWE Hall of Fame?
Yes. They own the intellectual property of everything in the WCW, so that counts.
I want to say yes, but it'll never, ever happen.
I think it will.
Even though people are saying that he's actually...
They said that 17
WWE.
times already, so
Yeah,
I'm not believing it until it actually happens.
Wouldn't your jaw drop, though?
Yes.
He was number 30.
I hope that could be... Well, I don't hope he's number 30 in the Rumble, because I'm not going to be able to watch it on Sunday. I'll be working. So that'd be shitty.
I'll be texting.
For me, personally.
Sting's in the Rumble, bitch.
I'm going to turn my phone off, though. I don't want any spoilers until I watch it the next day. So yes to Sting?
Yes.
Okay, I say yes as well. Goldust.
Goldust.
Yes. I say yes.
Yes.
Celebrity Hall of Fame. Mr. T.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say yes.
If Pete Rose could get into the Hall of Fame.
All right, here we go. Here's a questionable one. Jacqueline. Female wrestler.
Jacqueline? No.
I say no as well. Daniel Bryan.
Jury's still out.
Yes, I agree with that, so I'd say no for now. Mark Henry.
No.
I say yes.
Why?
Because think about all the accomplishments this guy has done. Billy Kidman, in your mind, goes in for being Cruiserweight champ, but Mark Henry doesn't for being Heavyweight champion? For being around since 95? For being their first Olympic, medalist guy?
Was he really the first?
He qualified. Yeah, he has Olympic.
Aren't you leaving Ken Patera off that list?
But was okay. Well, okay. Oh yeah, I didn't think about Ken Patera. Okay, Mark Henry, legitimately world's strongest man.
All right, yes, you can have him.
Come on, it's not about having him. It's like he's going in. End of story. Coco beware. They set the standard there, Sean. Kurt Angle. Now, keep in mind, you can't put any of the TNA stuff in.
No.
Because they don't own the intellectual property.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
I say yes.
Why?
I still think even in a short time, he did more than Billy fucking Kidman did.
That's going to haunt me all this long.
Okay. British Bulldogs. We're talking about Davey Boy and...
And Dynamite Kid, yes.
Yes, I think so as well. John Tenta. Earthquake, Avalanche, whatever you want to call
him. No.
I say yes. Why do you say no?
I say no because even though he held the World Heavyweight title at one point, I still don't think it was...
He never did.
You sure?
Yeah, never held.
You positive?
Yeah. He was the main antagonist for Hulk Hogan in the 90s, but he never held the belt.
Oh. No wonder why he's not in the
Tag team champion, yes.
With Tugboat?
Yep.
Tugboat.
He's not on my list, I don't think.
I'm still saying no.
Okay. Jim Cornette.
Yes.
I say yes as well. Marty Jannetty. I say no.
I'm going to agree with you, no.
Okay. Raven.
Absolutely.
I say no.
Why?
What did he ever do?
All those ECW matches.
Awesome. The third best promotion?
With what?
The third best promotion at its time?
Okay.
A glorified
Those matches with Tommy Dreamer turned
awesome.
Heads.
Yes.
Turned heads.
All 1,000 of them.
Defined Moments.
All 1,000.
Did you not watch it? Did you not? Do you not remember?
Yes, I did watch.
Do you not remember the chair shot heard around the world?
No, I actually don't, to be honest.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, I say yes.
I say no. Tatanka.
Intercontinental Champion. Flash in the Pan. No.
No, he wasn't a champion in WWE.
He was not the Intercontinental Champion at one point. Are you sure?
Yep.
How do you know?
Because I know my history.
Do you?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You might want to look that up.
He wasn't. Go look it up. Let's go look it up right now. He was never WWE Intercontinental Champion. So let's pull it up on Wikipedia, because that's just the easiest thing to look at right quick. Tatanka. There you are. Nope. Never held a single championship in WWE.
Let me see that.
He's held championships elsewhere. What you're confusing him for is having a 2-year-long undefeated streak.
Yeah, that might.
Until Ludwig Borga came along and shattered it.
So can't believe you didn't hold the title. Nope. I'm ashamed now.
So, what do you, yes or no, Tatanka?
I'm ashamed now. Bad heel, no.
No? Okay, I say no as well. Val Venus.
You're going to say yes, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
And why are you going to say yes?
Because the WWE bought so much of him, he actually main evented multiple Monday Night Raws. In its Attitude Era, when you had Austin and The Rock and Triple H and Mick Foley and all these guys, they were choosing Val Venus to main event. Do we not remember I choppy his pee-pee?
Yes.
The main event of Monday Night Raw in its Attitude Era? You want to talk championships? Multiple championships that he won?
All right, I'll say yes.
Okay, thank you. William Regal. I say yes.
Definitely.
The Big Show. How are you even stopping this question this? The Big Show goes in. I don't even want to hear it.
All right, yes.
Yeah, he goes in. I don't want to hear it. Magnum TA. That's a questionable one, though.
No.
Because his career got cut short. But what he did do was phenomenal for the time he had before he got cut short.
No.
I'm going to say yes, just because I think he would have been guaranteed, but I still think he did enough. More than fucking Coco Beware did. So, you say no, I say yes. The Godfather. I'm going to say yes. Is it Tatanka? Being an Intercontinental Champion is enough for you to get in the Hall of Fame. Godfather's multiple times.
All right, I made one mistake. Jesus. I say no.
I say yes. Of course you would say no. Frank Gotch. Yeah, we're going old school.
We are. You gonna say yes?
I gotta say yes as well, because how do you not put Frank Gotch in there? Lou Thesz.
Yes.
Yes. George Hackenschmidt.
George Hackenschmidt.
I say yes.
All right, yes.
The Briscoe brothers.
Absolutely.
Ivan Koloff. I say yes as well.
Yeah.
Too Cold Scorpio.
No.
I say no. Lance Storm. Keep in mind, what's he doing to advance the business? He's a head trainer now.
But who's come out of him?
Well, let's find out right now. How's that? It's good to do your research, right? You want to know? Lance Storm. Who was also known as the SWA Kid once. Random story. Oh, but you were so high on ECW, right? 3-time ECW Tag Team Champion, by the way. Hardcore Champion in WCW. United States Champion in WCW. Cruiserweight Champion in WCW. Intercontinental Champion in WWE. Tag Team Champion 4 times in WWE. Let's see who's trained. Fucking Coco Beware's in.
Coco Beware and Billy Kidman are gonna haunt me for like ever.
Yep. Blah 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 blah. Let's see. We went to the independent circuit. Yada yada yada. Doesn't have anybody's name listed, but that doesn't mean he didn't do anything. It's just nobody's listed.
Alright, I'll give him to you and say yes.
Okay, thank you.
I don't need to see you tumbling with your phone while we have dead air.
Gail Kim. No.
Still out.
I think she's the best woman wrestler of her generation, but no.
Still out.
She didn't do anything in WWE. She was a one-time WWE Divas champ.
The jury's still out on that.
Well, I don't think she's coming ever back to the WWE, and everything she did in TNA doesn't count.
Right.
So, Dean Malenko. I say yes because of what he did backstage.
I say yes because he's done a lot in the ring.
Okay. Ivory. That's a tricky one. I think this is the toughest female one on the list.
I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say yes.
Why are you going to say yes?
Because she was the predominant heel women's wrestler in the Attitude Era. If it weren't for Ivory, there'd be no Trish Stratus to get over as big, and no Alitas to get over as big, and no the Cats to get over as big. Ivory basically was their version of Ted DiBiase. And she trained a lot of the girls, too, back then. She trained, at least partially, Trish Stratus of the world. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to say yes for what she did backstage. Not that anything she did on screen was bad either. Multiple-time women's champ.
Not bad, but...
You're saying no, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm saying
okay,
no.
I'm saying yes. Jazz. What? Mr. fucking ECW counts so much?
I didn't say it counted so much, but it had a lot to do with some careers. And
okay, well, Jazz.
No.
I'm going to say no as well. Celebrity Wing, Cyndi Lauper.
God, no.
I say yes.
Why?
WrestleMania. The first WrestleMania, she was a huge part of it.
Okay.
Look at the 5 that are in already.
No.
She's come back as well. You not remember her last year, I think it was? Bashing the thing over Heath Slater's head?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, Cyndi Lauper was instrumental. She was the diva in the 80s in the music world.
Right.
Next to Madonna. And some will even argue that, no, Cyndi Lauper was way hotter than Madonna was at that particular time that she came out. And she chose to be involved with wrestling. If Mr. T goes in, Cyndi Lauper has to go in. You're still saying no, aren't you?
Still saying no.
Well, you're an idiot. That's why you're never going to be in control of my Hall of Fame. Ken Shamrock.
Yes.
I say yes as well. The Undertaker.
Absolutely.
I say no.
Are you brain dead?
Why? This is my Hall of Fame that I get to pick, right? So I say no to The Undertaker.
Why?
Because he wrestles once a year.
Now he wrestles once a year.
Okay. Because it's an unbelievable gimmick, okay? Nobody's ever going to believe it. No, of course I'm busting your balls. Yes, I'm saying the second he retires, he should be going in.
He shouldn't even have to wait.
Brock Lesnar.
No.
I say yes.
Why?
Why not? Youngest, at the time, youngest heavyweight champion, youngest person still to the day that won the Royal Rumble. The most legitimate guy who crossed over into, real fighting and won their heavyweight championship as well.
You can't count that.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
Really?
They count it on WWE television.
So what's that got to do with the Hall of Fame?
That means it's part of his gimmick.
You're splitting straws.
I'm just telling it like it is.
I don't think so.
I say yes. The Dudley Boys.
Absolutely.
I say yes as well. Chris Jericho.
Yes.
Yes. RVD.
I don't know.
I say no.
Why do you say no?
I don't need to do anything. He was never the guy. He had one token reign as champion.
I was just curious.
He had the same match for 10 years. No. Randy Orton.
Yes.
Yes. Public Enemy. I say no. I just don't think they did enough. I think in wrestling they did. But in WWE, based on what they have, no.
No.
Okay. Eric Bischoff. I say yes.
You have to say yes.
Paul Heyman.
Yes.
I say yes. Jushin Thunder Liger.
No.
I say he did enough in WCW, so I say yes. Taz.
I'm a big Taz fan, but that's iffy.
I say yes. ECW Heavyweight Champion, had a successful crossover to being an announcer, or commentator, I should say. The guy who won the only WWF versus WCW in an ECW ring.
All right, yes, because I was kind of on the fence.
I say yes to Taz.
Sometimes you can super kick me over.
Hadn't he been successful crossing over to the commentating, though, I probably would say no. At that point, I don't think he did enough, but he made a career out of being a voice. So that's got to count. Victoria.
No.
I'm going to say she's in the same boat as Ivory as me, so I'm going to say yes. But okay. I won't argue on that one as much. Virgil.
Virgil.
I say no.
No.
He was around a long time. What did he ever actually really do? Celebrity Hall of Fame wing. I put it on the list. Zeus. But I'm talking about Tiny Lister. I mean, he's a celebrity that they literally used, an actor that they literally used to be a wrestler to promote their movie that he was in, the first WWE movie that they produced, No Holds Barred with Hulk Hogan. And then they brought him in to wrestle,
Yep.
which is ballsy, because he's an actor.
And he did it fairly well,
And
so I'm going to say yes.
Yes, I'm going to say yes. I think he should
Celebrity
go
wing, yeah, I think he should go.
Umaga.
No.
I say no as well. Vader.
Yes.
I say yes as well. Tori Wilson. I say no because I don't think she did enough.
No.
Tom Pritchard.
Yes.
Yes, because of what he does backstage. Rick Rude.
Absolutely.
Miss Elizabeth. How she's not in already is beyond me.
Right, yes.
But I think they're waiting for somebody else on this list to go in because they'll probably do both of them at the same time. So I say yes. What do you say?
Yes.
Jim Neidhart.
Oh.
That's a tough one.
Oh.
Did more than Coco Beware.
Yes, he did.
If Coco Beware's the standard, I'm going to say yes to big old Jim.
Yes.
Okay. Haku.
Yes.
I say yes as well.
I couldn't even think of that.
The Brooklyn Brawler. I say yes.
The biggest jobber in WWE history.
Yes, next to Johnny Rods. He was the Johnny Rods after Johnny Rods had to retire and step aside. But been with the company in a backstage role for 20 years now. 20 plus years.
And he had skill in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes.
Played doink when he needed doink.
Yep.
Stephanie McMahon.
Jury's still out.
I say yes. The Miz. Coco Beware is the standard.
Yes.
I say no. Because I think he had a failed championship run. Maybe eventually. Not yet. The Rock.
No.
What?
I'm kidding.
JBL. This one might be a little bit trickier, but I still think he is a Hall of Famer.
I think he should be, yeah.
Okay.
He had a good singles career, excellent tag team wrestler.
Vince McMahon himself. Not in the Hall of Fame yet. Thoughts, Vince McMahon?
I think he should.
I think he should be. Why not?
Why not? He built the whole thing from the ground up.
Shane McMahon. I'm going to say yes with Shane, too.
I want to say no.
Of course you would. Because you don't remember this guy who didn't have to do these bumps, taking 90-foot plunges off the top of Titantrons against Steve Blackmans of the world, or getting dropped on his head by the Kurt Angles of the world.
Yeah, but...
For the European Championships that he's won.
European Championships.
And he brought us the greatest posse ever, the Mean Street Posse. I say that with jest. All right. Jack Swagger.
Jury's still out.
Okay, I agree. John Cena.
I want to say no.
But he has to go in.
Yes.
Teddy Long. I say yes.
Yeah.
Manager, referee, GM. A lot of different things stuck around. Bam Bam Bigelow. I say yes.
Definitely.
Demolition.
Tough.
That's a tough one.
Tough. They had, 3 tag team title reigns?
Something like that. I mean, they were the tag team for a while in WWE.
However...
Were they a knockoff of the Road Warriors? Is that what you're about to say?
However, one-dimensional.
I'm going to say yes, though, Demolition. I think they deserve it. We're talking about tag team wrestling when tag team wrestling was tag team wrestling.
Right. And here's the question to you.
Okay.
Axe and Smash?
Yeah.
Axe, Smash, and Crush?
No. Axe and Smash.
I agree. Okay.
Okay, so is that a yes for you?
Yep.
Okay. Psycho Sid. Sid Justice, Sid Vicious, whatever you
Absolutely.
want to call it. I say yes as well. Lex Luger. Whoa. Whoa, he has to, bro. If we're talking the WCW as well.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Macho Man.
Absolutely.
I say yes as well. Tajiri.
No.
I say yes. Did more than Coco Beware. Scott Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paul Bearer.
Absolutely.
King Kong Bundy.
He's not in the Hall of Fame?
No, he's not in the Hall of Fame yet. I was shocked. I had to double check that. I was like, what?
Yes.
I say yes as well. The Steiner Brothers.
Purely on WCW? Absolutely.
Okay. The Nasty Boys. I say yes.
Yes.
Kevin Sullivan.
Absolutely. How do you not?
I say yes as well. Honky Tonk Man.
Yes.
I say yes as well. Jake Roberts.
Yes.
I say yes. Triple H. Yeah.
Could you not?
Yeah. Probably, maybe the 3 hardest here on this list. Owen Hart.
See, I'm going to say yes.
I'm going to say yes as well. Because I still think he did enough.
Yeah.
He did more than his tag team partner, Coco Beware, did. He's in the Hall of Fame. Brutus the Barber Beefcake. I say no. Did he ever do anything?
No.
Other than being Hulk Hogan's,
And before he got a chance to, his career was cut short.
So doesn't he fall into the line of Magnum TA then?
Yes.
So
No.
I say no. And then probably the hardest, Brian Pillman. Because I could see the argument against Brian Pillman. I'm going to say yes. Because I think what Brian Pillman did was he was so far ahead of his time.
Right. How could you not?
Okay. There's my list. We made it through 100 people.
We made it to 100 people.
How long have we been on? Well, how long have we recorded what's going to be on the air for? What are we at?
Oh.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either. Let's see. On the air. There we go.
There we are.
All right.
Well, look at that.
54 minutes.
Almost an hour show.
There we go.
All right. So we have 5 minutes left.
5 minutes. What do you want to talk about for 5 minutes?
Is there anything you're particularly looking forward to in an NYWC show tomorrow?
Other than the Stockade match, no. But let's... I think we missed a couple people here on this list.
Who?
I had it in my head before as we were scrolling down.
I went through this list up and down. I said, who are the most notable not in the Hall of Fame?
I had it. The Ministry.
No. What?
The Ministry.
Are you kidding? No.
They weren't on the list.
They weren't on the list because they don't deserve to be on the list.
Not even the corporate ministry?
What, are you kidding me? They lasted like 6 months.
But they still managed to make an impact.
Dude, you're out of your mind.
I'm not out of my mind.
They made a Hall of Fame impact?
I didn't say that. I was simply asking you.
No.
I didn't say my vote is for them.
No.
I just noticed that it wasn't on your list.
Yes. No.
Okay.
Should we add Kai and Tai to there as well?
No.
You know? How about the oddities? You want to talk about the oddities? They were fun. You want to add them to the Hall of Fame?
No.
You want to talk about Recon and Sniper with the Jackal? Yeah? No? How about Battle Cat? Battle Cat's not in the Hall of Fame. Should we talk about Battle Cat? No?
Wait.
What about the Goon? Should we talk about the Goon? How about Alex the Pug Porteau? Should we talk about Alex the Pug Porteau?
How about the Gobbledygooker?
You know what? I might actually say yes to the Gobbledygooker.
What?
You know? Just because it was so bad, it was awesome. It deserves a celebrity spot.
People looking at the radio and they're like, what the hell is happening?
They won't know what the hell's going on anyway because none of this is aired.
I don't know. We're going to have to see.
We're going to see if it works. We could have just did this for no reason.
For no reason at all.
No reason at all. All right, but I think that might be a good time to sign off.
I think so.
Real quick, let's take a look at... Let me try to pull it up real quick. When NYWC, the doors open for NYWC. I know the doors... or bell time for VPW is 7:30. It's probably similar. Well, let's find out for sure. Oops, wrong page.
La 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 la. Ryan's looking stuff up.
I am.
La, la, la,
yeah, you could be helpful too, but you know.
I'm sorry, my phone is being used for this broadcast.
That's okay. NYWC, what time do their doors open? Let's find out.
Might be better off if you try their website.
Yeah, but I'm already on the Facebook, so I want to say it's probably 7 p.m. 7 p.m. I think that's bell time, though. So it might actually... It just says...
Ding.
NYWC fans first... that's for... Yeah, but they're... So doors might open at 7. And bell time might be 7:30, maybe 8. Be there no later than 7. Be on the safe side.
Be there at 7!
And yeah, I think we're good. Might take some heat from this episode, but...
We might.
You know, that's like an internal heat, which I could use in my house, because it's freezing sometimes in the late night. Yeah. I don't know. Not really.
Alright, I guess we're done.
I'm Jewish. We have good heating in my house. That's probably why I got sick. Alright, so yeah, we're good. Hopefully this works.
We're going to find out right now.
Yeah, we will. So, on behalf of the heel...
2013 Host of the Year.
I was going to say that. Sean Walsh, the Hall Monitor, the face Tommy C.
The smooth voice Sith Ryan Perry.
Why you just cutting my... You stay classy, New York.
And we'll see you at the shooting gallery next week.